You can now edit files in the Data Productivity Cloud using the code editor. You can edit a variety of file types, and when you edit SQL or Python files, you can then link them to your SQL script and Python pushdown components in your orchestration pipelines to run those as scripts. Let's look at how it works. For this demo, I'll assume the role of a data engineer at a company called GreenWave Technology. My task is to create a data export that runs automatically on a weekly basis. I've already linked my project to a Git repository, so the project view mirrors the structure in the repository. So you can see here are all the code files in our repo. Then if we go back to our Data Productivity Cloud project, as well as being able to see the transformation and orchestration pipelines, there are also our code files from the repo, as well as a few other examples of text-based files. However, before we make any changes, I'll create a new branch, essential to avoid disrupting the main branch or other developers' work. So I've created a new branch branching off from main. Now let's look at the orchestration pipeline that I've been collaborating on with my team. This pipeline combines customer information and orders. My next step is to write code for a data transformation. If I already have some code created, I could import it in, and once the code is in my project, I can open it up, view it, edit it, and start using it in my pipelines. However, for this demo, I'll create a new SQL file from scratch. Let's create an SQL file called profit by account, where I could start writing my SQL. But to save a little bit of time on this demo, I will just paste in my code. And where I've pasted in my code is the code editor. The code editor offers syntax highlighting as well as a command palette. So this is our query to calculate profit by account. But you'll see here that I've also referenced a variable. Before we could use it, we need to create the variable and assign a value to it, which we can do via the variables menu. Let's add the new variable and choose project level variable as its type. This makes it accessible across all files. With the variable set, I'll return to the pipeline and add an SQL script component. Within the SQL script component, we could choose to write our own SQL from scratch, or we can choose File to pick up the file we just created. Remember, we've not committed any changes yet, as we're still making sure that what we've created is correct. I'm going to add an end success component, then let's try running the pipeline. Running this pipeline will process our customer data, combine it with orders, it will pick up and run the SQL file we just created, and generate the required extract that we require. By expanding the task panel, we can see that the SQL script component has run successfully. Okay, now that we've verified that the pipeline does what we want it to, it's time to commit the changes. Here we can see which files have been updated. I'll add a commit message and let's push the changes to the branch I created earlier. Then, once my colleagues have reviewed my code, I can merge it back into the main branch. Navigate back to the main branch and pull any remote changes to make sure we're all up to date. Select the branch that we want to merge from into main. If there are any conflicts in the merge, they will appear here. Then we can click Merge. Now the updated files are part of the main branch. Finally, let's schedule the pipeline to run weekly. I'll name the schedule, choose the environment, set the time zone, and configure it to execute every Sunday morning. The pipeline will always run using the latest code from the main branch. So, to recap, we wrote an SQL file using the code editor. Then we picked up that file instead of writing code from scratch in our SQL script component, integrated it into a pipeline, followed best practices for version control, and scheduled the pipeline for automated execution. For more Data Productivity Cloud videos, please subscribe to the channel, and to get started with Matillion, visit matillion.com.